on, if you haven't already guessed, today's video is all about this witchy woo-woo look. To be honest, I did want to do a little bit more with this, but when I finished I was like, do you know what, now let's just do something simple, because I think for me, I've never done simple Halloween looks. I've never just done a witch or a devil, and I thought this year I want to do what you done as a kid, the basic Halloween costumes that you always knew as a child that are cost effective, really cheap, and most of the time really easy, and you can adapt them and twist them and change them. Now I did want to have half a moon on, I wanted to do so much more, but then I thought, we're making it more complicated. This looks effective on camera, let's stick with this. If you'd like to know how I've done this look, do please stay tuned. I'd really appreciate it if you would like to comment, like, subscribe, that you do, but nonetheless, let's just get into the video. So I've got a turtleneck on, and I had to make sure I put that on first, because something like a turtleneck you're not going to be able to get on once you've painted your face, but you also don't want to get face paint on it because it'll make the look crap. So I made sure to go around my turtleneck, top, and put kitchen roll there so that when I painted the green paint down my neck, it wouldn't ruin the costume and look a bit naff. Then I started face painting. So I took the Snazaroo green face paint. This is your bog standard green face paint from Snazaroo. It's £4. I actually purchased mine from Smithies, but you can get it from like Asda, Tesco, Home and Bargain, literally anywhere, Amazon. There's so many places that you can get that specific face paint from, or you can just go to Smithies, get the Smithies brand. They didn't actually have any in stock. You could go to Mayron, you could go to all higher end brands if you really wanted to, but the whole point of me doing this video was to keep it on a budget. Now I'm going to be brutally honest, I didn't mind the face paint at first. It does start to slightly go wishy-washy when I'm applying it, and I don't know why I started off my face doing a mask and then finishing off the rest in green. I've got no clue, I don't know what I was doing, but as you can see there, it's just not going on as well, and I don't know why, because I was making sure that the brush wasn't overly wet. I just wanted it to go on nice and thick, but it wasn't happening. So what I did do in the end, after I'd done my whole face and my neck, I decided to take a sponge, any old sponges. So I bought a big bag of them from Primark a while ago, and I just chose a thick amount of the paint. I only sprayed a little bit of water in the pan, and I went over my whole face using this sponge. Then I reached for the Snazaroo yellow paint with the same sponge, but as you can see, I wasn't overly impressed. It was starting to separate the face paints. So I went over with the original brush I used with that original green. You know, the mistakes happen. Things sometimes just don't work. Some paints just don't blend together well. So what I did do is I reached for my Grimace yellow face paint. And as you can see, it's gone on so much easier and so much nicer. But I still went back in with that original Illamasqua brush that I used for the green paint, just to blend the yellow and the green together better before setting the yellow using a yellow eyeshadow. Then I reached for this teal eyeshadow. By the way, these eyeshadows are Mayron, and although it's teal, it looked nice over the green. It just gave it a bit more depth. I didn't want it to just be that bog standard green. Now this is completely optional. If you don't have a teal eyeshadow like this, don't be worrying, but I just went over all those areas that I'd done green and sort of buffed it around the edges of the yellow so that blended nicely before setting it all using the Revolution Pro translucent powder. This is just going to help for any powder products we're going to put on later, because using the face paint and then using the powders, they don't always blend well. Taking the Inglot 84 pigment, this is a green gold. It's absolutely stunning, and I'm just popping that all over the lid. You do not need to be neat with this. Throw it on, then take a fluffy brush and just buff it up towards your eyebrow, because we just want this to go on really, really messy. Then it's time for the eyebrows. So I followed my shape. I didn't make anything too major, but I just made sure not to make it too thick. But the key to these eyebrows is to make them slanty in the inner towards the nose area. So you want to make them like pointy and slanty, a bit like a blade, if you could imagine like a curved blade. So that's the way you want it to be, and the point's going really close to the inner part of the nose. And I just used another Snazaroo black face paint. If you don't have black face paint, you could use eyeliner, eyeshadow, literally anything. It's completely optional which product you use to do this. You can then set it with eyeshadow if you really want to. Then I took some gold highlight, highlighted my brow bone, and then went on to highlight other parts of my face. So the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, the cheekbones,
All the obvious places that you would want highlighted, I went on and highlighted. So the likes of your cupid's bow, the tip of your nose, the bridge of your nose, the high bones of your cheeks, high bones of your eyebrow. As you can see, I do just jump back onto my eyebrows just to, obviously I must have seen something that I wanted to fix. But I found that once I highlighted the cheekbone, I just felt like it was bringing it together more. Then I took the KVD Shade and Light palette. Now I started off with a brown contour because I like to create dimension, and I feel like using a brown gives you like that basis of understanding of where you're going to place your black when you go in with it, because sometimes I do find the black, once it goes on, you can just put too much on sometimes without even realising it. Then for some strange reason, I decided I wanted to do my lips instead of doing my contour. So I moved on to the lips. I took the black face paint first and I created the smirk lines on the sides and outlined all of my lip. Then I reached for the Fenty Beauty lipstick. So if you follow me on TikTok, you will know my opinion on this lipstick. One, it is one of the best out there. But it does have some massive errors to it, and that would be the smell. And as you can see, I give it a good shake, pop it on, and it stinks. It really, really does. But it's just so quick. It's so good at staying on. So I threw that all over my lips once I'd outlined the smirk and the bottom lip, and then moved on to finishing them off. Once I'd done my lips, I did go back in to do my contour. I went in with a black eyeshadow. This is the Mayron one. And I took a really, really small amount and just started buffing into the areas I had done with the brown contour. So you have the basis, you know where you want things to go, and obviously taking a small amount, what this does is it just blends with the brown, so you don't have to go so heavy-handed with the black. There's already that undertone there for you. Just make sure you bring your contour close to your mouth. You want to make sure that you're as gaunt looking as possible, but still glamorous in a way. So I just brought it really close to the mouth and brought it downwards. So like when you get to the corners, just swoop the brush down towards the bottom of your chin. I then also scooped underneath my cheekbones quite a bit, because we still want to look gaunt, but we want to look like we've got really high cheekbones. I didn't do an ugly nose for this look because the cute freckles we're going to apply in a minute with some glitter, but I did still want to make sure that the face looked a little bit gaunt, like a witch would normally have. Then I took some black gel eyeliner, popped it all over the waterline, smudged it out using the teal eyeshadow that we used originally on the green, and just gave it a good buffing in. And then I took a black eyeshadow on a smudger brush, as I say, and buffed that in as well. It just helps make it look a little bit more together, but still quite messy. Then you want to take the gold highlight we used earlier on our cheekbones to highlight the inner corners of our eyes. I just took this on a small fluffy brush before then applying eyelashes. So I used the Pretty Little Thing Prima Lash eyelashes and a really cheap mascara. I never go in with anything major with the mascara. And now it's time for my favourite part. So I took some of my eyelash glue. This is my own personal eyelash glue. Just make sure you're not using anybody else's because it is going on the skin. And I created little dots using the stick before applying the green glitter on the top to create fake glitter freckles. And I genuinely think this looks absolutely gorgeous. It just looks so good with the look. I was really pleasantly surprised. But it's so easy. You pop the little dots on, let them get a little bit tacky, and then apply the glitter using your finger or using a brush. Then I took that original Inglot pigment we used on our eyes and threw it on my lips. Now you don't have to do top and bottom. You could just do bottom or do both like I've done. I actually really liked it just on the bottom, but it was too late. I'd already gone in. But I do think that finishes off the lips perfectly. Then I went in and had to do my ears. I was not getting away with it. I thought my hair was going to cover it, but it didn't. It's just the fact I've got to try and get it out. It's so hard. And yet, once the ears are done, you are finished.
And that's the finished look. Pop on your hat. I prefer to wear the hat on the side. That's just the way I've always worn mine since I was a kid. You can put them straight in the middle, but I feel like that looks a bit more basic, and this is like bad witch vibes. That little slant just makes a massive difference. But I was always taught to put mine on the side. That was the way. I think it's to make it look quirky and kooky. But this is the finished look with the freckles and all. These actually pick up a lot better off camera. I've got a hair somewhere and I'm gonna literally scream. I feel like the Grinch as well as the witch. But yeah, this is the finished look. It's really, 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 really easy. And it's really cost effective, especially after the year everyone's had. I know a lot of people may not want to spend much money on a Halloween costume, and I just think everyone's probably got something black. If you want to go even bigger and get something that's got sleeves, you can just make some out of like cotton and stuff. I mean, I grew up getting put in a bin bag to go out, or an old shabby dress that my mum once wore in black. That was how I was brought up to go Halloween as a witch. But you can make a witch anything. So the hat, always like £1. The face paint, you don't need to go and get yellow. If you've got a yellow eyeshadow anyway, just use that. You don't have to do the glitter. What I did really want to do was I used to have little metal moons and stars, and unfortunately I, for the life of me, could not find them. I don't know if I've bin them or what, but this is the finished look with the glitter, and I just wish I could have done that for you because it would have looked really good. But yeah, hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.